Good day everyone, we are the group of Unit 5 and we are here to discuss to you about cellular networks. So what is cellular networks? Cellular networks are high-speed, high-capacity voice and data communication networks with enhanced multimedia and seamless roaming capabilities for supporting cellular devices. A cellular network or mobile network is a radio network distributed over land areas called cells, each served by at least one fixed location transceiver known as a cell site or base station. The most common example of a cellular network is a mobile phone network. A mobile phone is a portable telephone which receives or makes calls through a cell site or transmitting tower. Radio waves are used to transfer signals to and from the cell phones. So what are the learning outcomes? The learning outcomes is know more about cellular networks, differentiate between GSM and CDMA, differences between the 5 generations, and identifying infrared, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. So here are the learning content. The currently deployed wireless networks such as GSM, CDMA, and LTE are known as cellular networks. In cellular network, the entire area is divided into smaller size cells to connect mobile subscribers with RF frequency to provide voice and data services. The global system for mobile communication is a standard developed by a European Telecommunications Standards Institute to describe the protocols for second-generation digital cellular networks used by mobile devices such as mobile phones and tablets. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? Advantages: it is flexible enough to use features and functions of almost all public and private networks, and it has increased capacity. What are the disadvantages? It offers less data rate compared to wired networks such as fiber optics, DSL, etc. The data rate varies based on wireless standards such as GSM, CDMA, and LTE. So what is GSM? GSM, or the Global System for Mobile Communications, is a standard developed by the European Telecommunications. GSM technology was developed as a digital system using the time division multiple access or TDMA technique for communication purposes only. Next is what is CDMA? Code division multiple access or CDMA is a channel access method used by various radio communication technologies. This is basically an algorithm that helps a user capture a number of channels to be used in the same bandwidth. So how to know if your cell phones or gadgets are supported by these cellular networks? So first, go to your settings and about phone. Check for MEID, ESN, or EMIE number. If your phone has MEID or ESN number, it uses CDMA. If it has IMEI, it uses GSM. If you see both, that means your phone supports both GSM and CDMA networks. So, what is the difference between GSM and CDMA? Global System for Mobile Communication or GSM and Code Division Multiple Access or CDMA are two competing standards in cellular services. The basic difference between GSM and CDMA is that GSM is a SIM specific, that is a mobile phone is identified in the network by the removable SIM inserted in that phone. On the other hand, in CDMA, the network identifies a handset by information stored in an internal memory and hence, it's handset specific.
1G. The first generation of commercial cellular network was introduced in the late 70s. 1G was Australia's first cellular mobile phone network. The first generation of wireless telephone technology. These are the analog telecommunication standards that were introduced in 1979 and the early to mid 1980s. Second generation. 2G cellular telecom network were commercially launched on the GMS standard in example GMS 2G, GPRS 2.5G, and Edge 2.75G. The first 2G network was a GMS network built in 1991 by Radio Linja in Finland. 3G, third generation. This generation set the standard for most of the wireless technology we have come to know and love. An example of 3G is the cell network that is used for many iPhones in the US and abroad. 4G, fourth generation. Its purpose is to provide high speed and high capacity to users while improving security and lower the cost of voice and data service. Example of 4G is the cell network that smartphone or mobile modem owner can access to have faster data transfer speeds. 5G, fifth generation. The next generation mobile network alliance feel that 5G should be rolled out by 2020. 5G is the fifth generation mobile network. It is a new global wireless standard after 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G networks. 5G enables a new kind of network that is designed to convert virtually everyone and everything together, include machines, object, and device.
What does infrared mean? Infrared is a wireless technology that lets devices communicate with each other using short-range wireless signals. It requires line of sight, has a short transmission range, and is unable to penetrate walls. And also, infrared wireless refers to all process of sending data and communicating. So, ang infrared wireless ay tumutukoy sa process ng pagpapadala ng data at pakikipag-ugnayan gamit ang wireless infrared connection. And ginagamit ang infrared transmission technology sa mga device or equipment to sending data to other devices and especially to control them wirelessly by human operators. These are the following communication applications: phones, laptops, TV remote controls, cameras, and printers. And now, we are moved on to how infrared communication network works. These are the two configuration modes in infrared between point-to-point communication and diffuse communication. In point-to-point communication, both transmitter and receiver devices should be placed in the line of sight of each other, and there should not be any obstacle like walls between them. So sa point-to-point communication ay dapat ang transmitter at receiver infrared na devices ay dapat nakalagay sa line of sight for each other. Hindi dapat magkaroon ng anumang hadlang katulad ng pader sa pagitan nito. In a diffuse communication, transmitter and receiver infrared devices should be kept close to each other, but they need not to be in the straight line of sight, will be operate within 15 degree of each other. Ang diffuse communication naman ay dapat panatiliing malapit sa isa't isa, but they need not be in the straight line. The human eyes is not sensitive to the infrared light used by television remote controls. Our eyes can only see the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum and the infrared light, which has lower frequency, longer wavelengths, and less energy per photon than red light. It's just outside the range of the light that we can see. So, ibig sabihin, nakikita lamang ng ating mga mata ang isang bahagi ng electromagnetic spectrum at infrared na ilaw na may mas mababang frequency at mahabang wavelength. So, what is electromagnetic spectrum? The electromagnetic spectrum, or EM, is the range of all types of electromagnetic radiation. Radiation is energy that travels and spreads out as it goes. The visible light that comes from a lamp in your house and the radio waves that comes from the radio station are the two types of electromagnetic radiation. And the other types of electromagnetic radiation that make up the electromagnetic spectrum are microwaves, infrared light, ultraviolet light, X-ray, and gamma rays. So we go on advantage and disadvantage of infrared. So we go first of advantage. First one is infrared transmission requires minimum power to operate and can be set up at a low cost. And second, this is a secure way to transfer data between devices as the signal cannot pass beyond the room or chamber. And we go on up disadvantage. The first is the speed of data transfer in the infrared is slow. And second is infrared can be used for a small range distance.
What is Bluetooth? Bluetooth was intended to replace the wired connections. It makes use of short-range radio links and operates on FHSS or frequency hopping spread spectrum. Bluetooth signals operate at 2.4 GHz. Bluetooth LE is aimed at enabling power-sensitive devices to connect permanently to the internet.
Let me discuss about Wi-Fi. So what is Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi has been developed to facilitate wireless local area networking in the 2.4 GHz or 5.2 DHz bands. There are issues related to a security threat in Wi-Fi, but the same can be prevented using the several security measures that are available. In addition, which is better to use, Wi-Fi or data? Wi-Fi is often faster than data under the right conditions. When you're at home, work, or other place with a secure Wi-Fi network, you may want to connect to it when you're using the internet. If you're using a lot of data, such as to stream or download videos, you probably should be connected to Wi-Fi. Yes, I agree, just like me. Mas gusto ko sa Wi-Fi when I downloaded videos and songs. Kasi kapag sa data, hindi ka makakapag-download kung wala kang load. At kapag may load ka naman, mabilis siyang maubos. Ang kagandahan ng Wi-Fi is that globally siya. I mean, mostly na gumagamit nito is yung mga company, lalong-lalo na yung mga big company to transmit data or information ng mas mabilis. And it is very important then to have Wi-Fi. Gaya sa aming lugar, liblib doon and walang signals for cellphones or SIM cards. Kaya salamat sa Wi-Fi dahil kahit papano, kahit medyo mahina siya, nakakapag-connect pa din kami, nakakapasok sa klase, and also nakakapag-transmit and receive ng messages or important data or informations. But 4G and 5G can be faster than Wi-Fi when it operates on an LTE network. So let's now move on to the types of Wi-Fi technologies. Here in our PowerPoint presentation, we have 4 types of Wi-Fi technologies. So let me begin to the first one. Wi-Fi 802.11a was the first version in the IEEE 802.11 series of Wi-Fi or wireless fidelity system. It defined a Wi-Fi format for providing wireless connectivity in the 5 GHz ISM band to give raw data speeds of up to 54 Mbps. Take note, 54 Mbps. But before I continue the discussion, please take note this para sa susunod, alam nyo na yung mga acronyms na ito. Mbps stands for megabits per second. And GHz stands for gigahertz. Although alphabetically, it is the first standard in the 802.11 series. It was released in 1999 at the same time as IEEE 802.11b, which was aimed to connectivity using the 2.4 GHz ISM band. IEEE 802.11b, it supported a maximum theoretical rate of 11 Mbps and had a range up to
150 feet. 802.11g. The rated speed of 802.11g networking devices is 54 Mbps. However, 802.11g and other Wi-Fi network protocols include a feature called dynamic rate scaling. When the wireless signal between two connected Wi-Fi devices is not strong, the connection cannot support the fastest speed. An 802.11n Wi-Fi network connection supports up to 600 Mbps of rated theoretical bandwidth at under best case conditions. Overall, here are the advantages of Wi-Fi. It is convenience, mobility, productivity, deployment, expandability, and cost. And here are the disadvantages of Wi-Fi. First one is security, range, speed, reliability, bandwidth, and health issues. So that's all. I hope you learn a lot. Thank you and God bless.